It's not just cricket. It's about boundaries broken. What? What? Oh, dear God. Talk about missing the plot. Talk about being completely confused. Cricket South Africa has gone so far off the deep end with this retarded, ridiculous, woke nonsense. Oh, my goodness. They lost again. And they release a poster on Twitter that says, it's not just cricket. It's boundaries broken. Oh, man. They say this in a note tweeted saying that our victories are not measured by the scoreboard, but by how many we're able to bring along with us. Seriously? You say that with a straight face? Bring along with you where? To misery and defeat? The whole purpose of a team to compete is to win. If you're not in it to win, then why do you have a team? This, of course, all comes on the ludicrous heels of this asinine, empty virtue signaling done by Cricket South Africa in the World Cup that just happened, or is still going on, but not for South Africa anymore. Idiotic stuff. Quinton de Kock refused to take a knee. The colored South African cricket player refused to take a knee. And he was ostracized, and they pretty much forced him to do it, and he compromised his personal values and his faith to take a knee. And this is absolutely ridiculous. What the hell is wrong with these people? It's not about this nonsense. This is one of the asinine, racist things with South Africa. We see two announcers, Sammy and his buddy, on television talking about how, my kind have always been discriminated. This discrimination still continues. And once again, I ask the question, what discrimination? Not denying that there may be discrimination or racism in the sport in South Africa, but please explain how. You didn't give any examples, and we're yet to see any examples. Is funding denied to people of color who want to play cricket? Or are they denied entry to the team? That seems odd. The most obvious example of whether people of color are involved in the game is the composition of the team. Half the team is comprised of people of color, mostly coloreds, a couple Indians, and the other half is white. So what exactly is going on here? This is empty virtue signaling, just like the asinine kneeling, disrespecting our nation here in the United States, started by Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. He has no idea what he's doing. He's insulting this country and he's insulting the patriotism of the greatest nation in the history of the world that gives everyone opportunity with just lies. But it's empty virtue signaling by Cricket South Africa. This nonsense. You see this play out even in rugby in the sevens when Fiji and Samoa, people of color, stand during the English national anthem or the British national anthem, and they stand for their own. While British players on the sevens team, 6 of the 7 from Team GB are white. They take a knee for empty virtue signaling. One player of color who's mixed race. Yet the people of color aren't that stupid. This nonsense needs to stop. Now, Cricket South Africa's team captain is Temba Bavuma, who was the captain, and he said that Cricket South Africa's decision needs to make a collective decision on how it should approach anti-racism gestures going forward. Well, here's an idea. How about you stop gestures? It's utter nonsense. If people give a crap about racism, how about you do something about it? How about Cricket South Africa come out against broad-based black economic empowerment? Or Colin Kaepernick come out against affirmative action in America? Those racist policies are destroying both societies. How about you do that? Colin Kaepernick complaining and calling NFL players slaves. Minimum rookie salary, $480,000 per year. $480,000 per year. 65% of the NFL is black. The percentage of black Americans is 13.5%. If anything, black Americans are wildly overrepresented in the National Football League in terms of their share of the population. And on top of that, they're grossly inflated salaries compared to the average American for working 5 or 6 months a year. $480,000 guaranteed minimum for rookies. Seriously? Most Americans make around $50,000, $60,000 most. And they're slaves? Cricket South Africa, you're a bunch of idiots, and you embarrass yourself with each and every breath. Now, Bavuma has called for the team to make some sort of collective action. He said the pressure amount on the team to take any is sometimes a bit unfair, given the many issues facing ordinary South Africans. Now, Temba Bavuma seems to have his head screwed on straight here. He said that he's unsure whether the national side will continue making the gesture, but believes the values of inclusion should translate into daily behavior. Well, I agree. I think what Temba Bavuma is saying is that empty virtue signaling is asinine. The important thing for me is how does this translate into everyday life? That for me is the cream on top. We can all go out there, raise our fists, go on the knee, but if deep down in the heart you're not really for the cause and what it stands for doesn't show in your everyday behavior, then I guess it brings into question the authenticity of it all. Of course it brings into question authenticity, which has been my point all along. What exactly has Colin Kaepernick done for poor people? Yeah, I know he's got some little nonsense going now after the fact, but the man had a $65 million contract and didn't do anything for social justice. What have these cricket players done for anybody? Anybody. Seriously. This is empty virtue signaling. I don't want to see you insult the nation by taking a knee, insult patriotic people by taking a knee and raising a black power fist. That's just insulting and it smacks of black supremacy. Nobody's supreme, white, black, or brown. Everyone's equal. You come out of the womb in the same fashion unless you happen to come out by cesarean. But we're all born and we're all created by our creator with certain inalienable rights. And this stupidity of virtue signaling needs to end. Cricket South Africa is a bunch of idiots, an absolute bunch of idiots. Seriously. It's not just cricket. It's boundaries broken. Are you high? So you'd rather lose? Our victories are not measured by the scoreboard, but by how many we're able to bring along with us. Really? Really? That's how you measure victories? Well, they're being excoriated by black, brown, and white South Africans online. Ursula Carmen says, so in other words, you're saying that South Africa does not play cricket to win? They'd rather keep score on who bends the knee? That's not sport. It's just pure politics. Shame on you. Rav69 says, excuses. When will we be world-class again and competitive like before? My opinion, when we omit political interference, corruption, and choose the best players for the team without a quota system, some white old boys must be replaced to hang up their bats. Miss Inno, scoreboard matters a lot in sport. That's what it's all about. Clearly, you guys were not about winning the T20 World Cup because you could have worked on your slow run rate. Tammy Jackson says, if your victories aren't measured by the scoreboard, then don't play sport. Marius De Beer says, spend less time on your knees and more time practicing. Maybe that'll help. Francis David Duran says, get off your knees and field a team that can win the World Cup. Hint, select on merit, not race. But in South Africa, it's not about merit. And the narrative now in America is not about merit. It's about distorting and lying and using excuses for other people's failures. If you're wondering why Cricket South Africa is a losing proposition, it's because they're woke and they're idiots. And this doesn't seem to end. Folks, I can't get past this part. I can't. Our victories are not measured by the scoreboard, but by how many we're able to bring along with us. Well, guess what? You can keep bringing people along, but that's going to be a pretty empty bus at the end of the journey because people want to see teams win, not play the asinine bullshit of inclusion. How many white players are on Bafana Bafana? Oh, 0. That's right. Where's your inclusion there? This gets the height of stupidity when we look last year in 2020 at the Telkom-sponsored netball tournament. In the semifinals, a team won. Amazing victory, only to have the victory nullified after the game. Why? Because during the game, the coach was forced to have too many black players on the court because he didn't have enough white players. And so for a couple of minutes, there was one white player short. Didn't have the minimum of 3 white players on the court. That's how stupid this nonsense becomes. Stop it. Pick people on merit. If there's disadvantages, then you level the playing field. How do you level the playing field in South Africa? You spend money equally amongst communities on sport. You give proper education to South Africans, not lower the standards. Anyway, folks, that's it. Enough of this nonsense. Our victories are not measured by the scoreboard, but how many we're able to bring along with us. Nope. 9, yet, nada, nix in the Bahnhof. Not the truth. Anyway, I'll catch you later, folks. If you're not subscribed to Chris Wyatt Africa, smash the button right down there and become a subscriber. Cheers.